Between fiscal 1998 and fiscal 2015, there were 21 trillion of undocumentable adjustments in the U.S. government. If you go to our website, missingmoney.solera.com, we have years and years of documentation, including the government financials that show this. And so the question is, where's all this money going? And one of the things I've looked at in the process of looking at where all this money is going is the underground base and city infrastructure and transportation system that's been built. And
I'm sorry?
Yes. So we have built an extraordinary number of underground bases and supposedly transportation systems. Some of these are some of these are documented as part of the national security infrastructure. I think there are many more. So
in the United States?
In the United States, and all over the world.
Well, they said it was a conspiracy, and obviously it is no longer a conspiracy, according to Catherine Austin Fitts, who is the Assistant Secretary of Housing and Urban Development of Housing. And she was actually the Assistant Secretary back in 1989 and 1990. So now obviously a former one. But she was interviewed by Tucker Carlson, and she dropped some of the most astonishing bombshells, saying that there are, underground bases and transportation systems that are being built by our United States government. In fact, she expands as to how many she believes that they have and, what they're for.
We systematically went through and tried to estimate our guess, this is totally a guess, of how many underground bases, both underground in the United States, but also underground under the ocean around the United States. And our estimate was 170. With a transportation network connecting them.
And what would be the purpose?
The purpose, if you thought you were going to get a near extinction event, so there, to me, there are two purposes. You have so many activities going on that you need to keep secret, that you're basically building the capacity to, for example, if you're doing a secret space program, you need to platform it from, things that can't be seen. But I think if you're worried about a near extinction event,
so 21 trillion of your tax-paying dollars was reportedly spent on about 170 bases underneath the ground in the United States of America and even under our ocean. Rather intense. But what makes this even more chilling is the fact that she divulged that the reason she believes that they did it is, number one, in the event of a national emergency, some kind of chaos that breaks out and world-ending kind of stuff. Who knows? Maybe a nuclear bomb, maybe an asteroid, or fill in the blank of what it could be. But they've got these bases underground and they used your money to do it. And guess what? You're not invited to the party. Now, if this is legitimately the case and true, I would be rather intrigued to know even more information. And the other reason that she gives outside of cataclysmic event is that they wanted to conduct secret activities. And I believe there could definitely be a dual use for that. Maybe some are secret activities and maybe some are for some kind of cataclysmic event. Now, with all of that, our United States government has been preparing for something like that for quite some time. Before I get into that, I want to remind you, get to restrictedrepublic.com and check us out on this website. If you want more of what is truly going on with these quote unquote conspiracies that are not so conspiratorial, get to restrictedrepublic.com. We cover lots of that in video detail and exclusive footage. And right now you can get it for $5 per month. Use the coupon code Lisa and the number 5. But with that, considering you and I aren't invited to this party in the event of some kind of cataclysmic event, only the wealthy and the elite will be in these underground cities, if you will. Instead, they've got other plans for us. How about the fact that they have complete control over everything in the event of some kind of disaster? Take a look at what I'm talking about. And I'm going to go through various amount of these. I'm not going to hit them in detail, but these are all the executive orders that give absolute control to the United States government in the event of some kind of emergency. Here's Executive Order 10997. And it's assigning emergency preparedness functions to the Secretary of the Interior. Basically, it gives the government power over electric, petroleum, and gas, fuels, and minerals in the event of some kind of disaster. Then we also have this one, Executive Order 10998, and that basically gives the government control over food and farms. And here it says here, prepare national emergency plans and develop preparedness programs for food, farm equipment, fertilizer, and food resources facility as defined below, rural fire control, defense against biological warfare, chemical warfare, and radiological fallout pertaining to agricultural activities. Then we have this one, Executive Order 10990. This one grants the government control over labor. You can kind of read it in that one. And then I have executive order, and this is EO 10995, and that grants the government control over communications and media. And here's kind of where that is here. If you want to pause, it talks about radio, it talks about media. Then we also have this executive order 10999, and that grants our United States government control over transportation, highways, waterways, and the whole 9 yards. And here you can see here all of these, transportation, traffic, all of that. Then we have Executive Order 11000. This one grants the government control to mobilize civilians into work brigades under their supervision. So you can see the Secretary of Labor here shall prepare national emergency plans and develop preparedness programs covering civilian manpower mobilization, more effective utilization of limited manpower, and the whole 9 yards. And I'm going through these rather quickly because there are a lot of them, but Executive Order 11002, that gives the government control over the postmaster and creates a national registration of all people. And you can see that here. The plans and programs shall be designated to develop a state of readiness, and the Postmaster General shall assist in the development of a national emergency registration system. So they will have you in that registration system in the event of an emergency. Then we have 11003 that gives the government control over the airways, the aviation, and the airports. Then we have 11004. That one gives the government the ability to, relocate communities, rural communities, designate areas to be abandoned, and the whole 9 yards. You kind of pause and read there. Then we have 11005. This one grants the government control over railroads, public storage facilities, and shipping. Then we also have this one, Executive Order 11921. And basically what that one does is it allows FEMA to develop plans to establish control over the money. And it also says, by the way, that Congress cannot review the actions for 6 months. So meaning it's going to last at least a little bit of time. Now, I detailed this back in 2018 in this article that I wrote. So all of these executive orders are linked here and on my website if you guys want to check them out there. But bottom line, I don't know your view on most of this, but obviously you have to have some kind of control in the event of an emergency situation, right? But bottom line, we're going to have everything controlled in the event that happens. And the question has to be asked, if there is a recovery period, what does that look like on the other side of that, right? This is why I always say, make sure you yourself are prepared. Take matters into your own hands when it comes to preparation, because I can guarantee you there ain't enough food to go around by the U.S. government. FEMA was very ill-equipped with pretty much all of these hurricanes and fires that have taken place. They didn't help out the people that needed help. In fact, they were giving money to illegal immigrants through through other outlets within FEMA. But either way, don't rely on the government in the event of some kind of disaster, because you can see they're in it to win it for themselves. And if Catherine Austin Fitts is correct and they've got some kind of underground system, well, like I said in the beginning, you're not invited to the party. So please make sure you are ready. Again, if you haven't already, get to Restricted Republic. We do talk about preparedness stuff now and then, and you want to be prepared in all ways, but sign up for Restricted Republic. Use that coupon code Lisa and the number 5 to check us out there. And we post a ton of exclusive content. Anyhow, I love you all. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.